regular basis all the time, threes. It'll open up the lane so much more for Embiid and just the paint in general.
That's where he needs to be. Ben Simmons needs to be mid to 3-point range.
Yeah.
Not saying he still can't get inside and facilitate for that big man.
Of course he can, yeah.
But stretch the floor a little bit. Let Embiid be where he needs to be. You be where you need to be. And it should work out for the Sixers.
All right, it's time for Dozier's Did You Know? So let's get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Dribbles with the left hand, the three-pointer up, the three-pointer down!
To the 20, following that blocker. What a run!
We're about to take it back.
Did you know that on this day in 1950, 7,021 people showed up to watch the lowest scoring NBA game ever? It was a game between the Fort Wayne Pistons and Minneapolis Lakers. The Fort Wayne Pistons won 19-18, so shout out to Pistons.
It was 19-18 in a game.
That's funny. I
I'd
wonder
be
if
so
they were
mad.
shooting for real or if they just were missing. I wish they could have gave me the stat sheet so I can see like everybody's percentages.
I was reading that along with you, like at the same time, and I got to the end and said 19. Are you kidding me? That is wild. Shout out to Fort Wayne. They won too. At least you didn't lose that
That's
game.
another thing. So Detroit, like, that's
I guess
didn't know.
somewhere down the road.
Minneapolis and L.A.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's where the Lakers got their name from, because Minnesota, the land of 10,000
Oh, really?
lakes.
Okay,
yeah.
well, you learn something new every day.
Now they're in L.A. where there's no lakes, but they just kept the name. So,
all right, Le'Veon Bell, he put his foot down on Twitter. This is the exact thing he said. I didn't have 5 random, with quotes, HGH blood tests in 10 weeks. At NFL, I'm not doing another after today. Whatever y'all looking for, it obviously ain't there. And I'm not about to keep allowing y'all to stick me with those dirty A needles. Find the players who really do that HGH BS and get off me.
I feel him.
HGH, that's like human growth hormones for the people who don't know. So basically like steroids and stuff. And I'm not going to lie, like, I completely agree with him, too. Now, this is the thing. You guys know how I feel just about going to Twitter in general, because these people are too rich to be on Twitter talking about stuff. Like, you got so much money. Why are you wasting your time on social media? There's no point.
Fact.
But I understand exactly what Le'Veon Bell is saying, because they do this. They test you randomly. And I played college football for a season, and I remember they would drug test they would test people randomly. Not everybody on the team got tested, just certain people.
Yeah.
So he probably feels like, man, they just looking at me and they thinking this is what I'm doing, but it's not even close.
And it's not like they've done five random tests in 10 weeks. He doesn't have anything in his system, so leave him alone. Like, what do they think? He's just going to magically, like, they're going to find something, and one of these times, like, if you've done it this many times and there's not anything popping up, I don't think he's doing anything.
Yeah.
So go focus where it needs to be. Somebody has to be doing it. Leave my man Bell alone. Let him play some football.
They see 6'1", 225 running the way he runs.
He can't be natural.
27. There's no way this is like this, but it is.
And it has to be super. Imagine being a player and you're not taking anything and you're just constantly getting tested.
Yeah, it's got to be annoying.
Yeah,
it's got to be annoying. And another thing is, just. If I was an athlete myself, I know I would be frustrated with that, because you guys keep testing me for this stuff. I'm working hard for the natural ability that I have, and you kind of insulted me, telling me that this is drugs, and it's not.
Over and over and over when not saying, I mean, there has to be players out there that are doing it.
Of course.
Find them.
There's people who've been caught.
Yeah, go find them. Stop worrying about Le'Veon Bell because he's not doing it. Get him out.
Man, that's the crazy thing, man, because and it's not even just him, but they said this. I just looked up like the percentage, and it says there is undoubtedly an HGH problem in the NFL with somewhere between 10% and 40%.
Wow,
current players. That's a jump though.
10 to 40%.
10 and 40% of current players using it to supply and sustain harder hits, according to this guy named Freeman on Forbes.com.
I get what he's saying, though. Just sustain those hits, that makes sense.
10 to 40.
It has to be in there somewhere.
I mean,
so
it's a lot. It's a lot if
40.
it's 40. But 10%, I mean, that's a lot, too, to be honest, to be doing HGH.
No way it's above, like, 25.
It
It's probably
can't be.
like
It
10
can't
to
be.
yeah.
It cannot be. If it is, that's crazy. That means we watching.
That means
That's
they're
almost
not
as
doing
fake.
their-
That means it's almost as fake as the WWE.
And that means the organizations and stuff aren't doing a very good job.
Yeah,
of
they're not
regulating
doing
it.
good at all.
If it's up in the 40%.
All right, man. Pacers. First off, I just want to say thank you for beating Brooklyn twice.
Facts. Both in Brooklyn.
Yes. I've
Stomped
been here
them,
and
too.
I've been talking to people about it, man. They ain't got KD. They ain't got. We don't got Victor,
Nope. We didn't
We
have
don't got
Victor,
Victor.
Brogdon, Jeremy Lamb. Like, come on.
and we beat them with Kyrie already.
And we smacked them. That when they had Kyrie, it was our first win of the year when we were struggling.
Yeah.
And then this time, they didn't have Kyrie, but we didn't have 3 players, and we destroyed them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear nothing. Both games on the road. You got to win at home either way, whoever you have or don't have. Pacers went in there and did it.
Now, another thing I can say about them, man, they had 72 rebounds against Brooklyn. And another thing is Brooklyn went 32% from the three.
Yep.
They have to take advantage of those types of games where people are shooting off like that because Indiana is not really that good of a shooting team.
They don't even really take the shots
Yeah.
that you see other teams taking.
Yeah, so you got to, take advantage when you're playing those types of teams because you just need you're
When a
not going
team
to
is
get it all the
missing,
time.
Get the rebound, go score, make their miss count.
Yeah. So, tomorrow they got Orlando coming to town.
Dude, it's been like 4 days of no Pacer games. I'm fiending.
Yeah, man. One thing, if you have to ask me, what I think the keys are, first off, they got to spread out the ball to different players like they did last time they played this team because they did a good job with that. They have to contain Evan Fournier. He has a 43 field goal percentage against Indiana right now. So, and that's because last game of what he did just in general.
Right.
Another thing is Foreigner is 53.8% from the three-point line against Indiana. So that's a big problem. I just think they have to control. They gotta contain the perimeter.
Right.
They've got to at some point. You have to find out a way to stop that.
And it's pretty awesome for the Pacers over this Thanksgiving week. They're going to be at home for the whole week. Home against the Magic, home against the Grizzlies on Monday, home against the Jazz, the return of Bogdanovich, and then home against the Hawks the day after Thanksgiving. So they don't got to do any traveling. They're going to be home with their families for Thanksgiving,
Yes, sir.
as well as they're going to beat up on these teams. So it's going to be pretty cool. And then on the 30th, they go to Philly. So I'm excited about that one.
Now another thing is Magic. In the last 5 games, they've had 2 losses, and it's the same thing with Indiana.
Yep.
Indiana lost to Milwaukee and Houston, and Magic lost to Toronto and Indiana. So
Get them out.
I think that that's another thing that kind of makes the game a little bit more exciting. They're both looking to not get that third loss. This is about to be Game 6. They don't want that third loss. I know I wouldn't.
Facts.
So, this is a big game for them just because of that also. Another thing is Indiana, they've been playing good at home. They're 5-2 at home.
Yep.
And then you look at Orlando on the road, they're 0-5 away.
Wow.
Take advantage. Tonight is the time for you guys to take advantage. You're not in Florida tonight. You're in Indiana.
Yep.
Take care of business. I think they can too. It's been a week. They've rested well from the Brooklyn game. So it'll be good for them.
Did you see Goga get his car filled with the packing peanuts by the whole team?
No.
They did the rookie hazing. They filled Goga's car up. His nice, I think it was an Audi. They walked out there with all the cameras, and they filled it all the way to the top with packing peanuts. They got him.
I would have been mad. What would you have done?
I probably would have been a little upset, but at least because I've seen people fill cars with popcorn, and that'll ruin your interior.
Yeah.
At least it's just some packing peanuts. But it was so funny. They were like, "All right, man, you're cleaning it up too," and they all walked away. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get mad, but I would definitely be frustrated because, man, I'm trying to go home after practice, and now my car's filled with packing peanuts.
Yeah.
That would be the frustrating part for sure.
Well, for the Pacers, Lamb is out still.
Yep.
McConnell's day-to-day.
Dude,
Brogdon's day-to-day. So.
Oladipo's, he's close.
Yeah.
He just did 5-on-5 full court. I think full contact practice for the first time. So he's going to do that as time goes on. And
yeah, for the Magic, Carter Williams, he's out still. Aaron Gordon, he's day-to-day. So, we'll see what happens. And like I said, man, when Victor does come, it'll be a completely different game. Now, man, Colts corner. These guys fell in Houston last night, 20-17. And
Biggest game of the year we dropped.
man, Will Fuller, the fifth, he can make a complete highlight reel out of the game.
Yeah,
The
I had him
man
on my
had
fantasy.
seven catches for 140 yards.
Yep.
We got to be able to contain that stuff, and I knew that was going to be a problem. Will Fuller, Hopkins, they got a pretty good receiving core in general. And then you look at Watson at quarterback, and that does nothing but add insult to injury because he's going to stretch out plays.
Dude, he's a dog.
He's going to make plays when he has to. So I just think in general, it was a bad game.
See what this
Watson
did.
had almost 300 yards passing.
What this did for the playoff picture. So the Colts were undefeated in the AFC South. They were undefeated. They beat the Texans earlier. If we would walk down in this, beat them again, we definitely would have secured playoff.
Yeah.
But what this does now is the Texans are now third place in the AFC, which the Colts would have been. And the Colts are not in the top 6. They're in the 7th spot. And the Raiders have that 6th spot over us because they beat us at home.
Yeah.
So the playoffs, they aren't completely out of the picture, but we made it a lot tougher. Now we have to win out. We have to beat the Titans next week at home. And then we have the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Jags again to end the season. So we needed that win.
Yeah.
We definitely needed to go down there and win. And one thing that made me the worst, or made me like the most upset, was our play calls. We ran and ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. It's like, I get it because it was
Williams, the quarterback. Oh, sorry, the running back. Yeah, like 26 carries.
Dude, and like I get it. It wasn't a bad thing, but like we would run it on first down. All right, then we'd run it on second down. It's like, okay, now it's third down. If we don't get it, we're off the field. Like, I don't like that because yes, I don't know our third down stats, but it's like, why would you continue to put yourself in that situation?
9 for 15 from third down.
It's like, man, I don't know. We had Hilton back. That's Hilton's stadium. That's his home.
I'm not gonna lie though, Hilton really wasn't like.
And he had 2 key drops,
Yeah.
both on third downs, which you want to see Hilton make those
And I
plays.
watched his press conference after the game, and he said he feels like the whole game
was
his
on
fault.
him. Yeah.
And
And like
I like that though because
Same.
you still take, even though it's not completely his fault. It's all of their faults.
Right.
He still took he took the blame, and that's
but on a
good
game
it's good to
where
have.
you made such a big deal that Hilton was coming back, and then we didn't have Marlon Mack. We had Jonathan Williams, who is a dog and I'm a fan of, but it's his first NFL start. You have a game
I
like that.
kind of knew he wasn't bad though from the last game when
Of
he got
course.
in because he didn't do bad when he got in.
And I guess he's been torching the Colts starting defense all year at practice. That's what the team was saying. So he's definitely a good player. But like on a game where all these things, you would, as a fan, I would have rather seen them use Brissett a lot more and use T.Y. Hilton and try and air it out a lot more. It's like the Colts don't want to use Brissett. It's like I don't understand it. So and then they passed it and give Houston a lot of credit
I
because
think Brissett didn't do bad. He didn't do as good as he
Right.
should have because he didn't score, obviously.
Yep, he had that
But-
one rushing touchdown.
But I mean, he only got sacked one time.
Yep,
He didn't have
that's what I was
any
about to.
interceptions.
Yeah, that's what I was about to start saying. Give Houston a lot of credit because on the passing plays that they would do, Brissett had a lot of time. He didn't have anywhere to throw it.
Yeah.
So the offensive line stood up, but at the same time, Houston's coverage was stepping up. So, like I said, give Houston a lot of credit. And hey, Houston's got to get one of these.
And it was kind of like, it was completely flipped. Like, we were running the ball a lot, but they were passing the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of a thing that, you look at too. I mean, you look at the rushing. Williams, he did good.
How many did he end up having?
104 rushing yards. He was averaging 4 yards a carry.
Right.
And he was averaging the least yards a carry because Hines, he was averaging 5 yards a carry. Brissett only carried the ball 4 times, but he was averaging 5 yards a carry too. So, although he had the least average-wise, he still had a good game with 104 yards and a touchdown. That's good football. Hilton, he had a couple drops. Ebron did all right. But then you look at Houston and Watson, man. First off, you look at their rushing game. Everybody on Houston's rushing side was averaging below 5 yards a carry.
Yeah. Their rushing attack didn't really come alive till late, which they didn't need it to be.
And then you see Watson, who went 19 for 30, which isn't too many more attempts than Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
So, he went 19 of 30 for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a pick. But and another thing that kind of
should have had 2 picks, but Okereke didn't catch the other one. I was so mad.
And another thing that I noticed was just how long